Good morning. Oops, I messed with the camera a little bit. Let me adjust this a little bit. Sorry about that. I used my camera for a Zoom meeting yesterday, and in replacing it onto the tripod, it got moved around a bit. It's still lower. It's still lower than normal. I'll adjust it in a little bit again, but first let's warm up. Let's get ourselves centered. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Adjust your resistance so it's really light. Just move your legs nice and slowly. And sit up nice and tall. We'll practice decoupling for just a few seconds here. Sense that your hips and your lower body are separate from the upper body. This motion is independent of the upper body. Aware of our spine and the neck connected to the spine, which is all really one and the same. And how those vertebrae are like a tree trunk for our upper body. Let's take our hands and place them onto the handlebars, taking care to just rest our weight onto the heel of the hand. I find that's the most comfortable, and it transfers the weight into my forearms. Check to make sure your shoulders are away from the ears and your spine and neck are in relatively close alignment without any arching of the back one way or the other. Keeping your resistance very light, as light as you can get it. Let's just bring our leg speed up. To 90 or so. We'll just take a few seconds here to think about stitching together this beautiful full circle pedal stroke. Taking notice of all the different muscles that are involved in making this beautiful pedal stroke. As we do this, we can notice our legs start to loosen up a little bit. Our hip joints, our knee joints start to become a little more fluid. Perhaps take a deep breath from a relaxed belly. continuing to feel our hips moving independently of the upper body. I can certainly feel this in my lower back. I notice a looseness comes into my lower back after a minute or two of just very light pedaling like this. Keeping your resistance very light. Let's accelerate our legs to around 100 now. Thinking about how the upper body still remains independent of the lower body. And our hips stay nice and settled on the saddle. Now let's just let our legs slow down, way down, and sit up nice and tall again. Beautiful warm-up. Let's come back into our well-considered seated cycling position with the hands just resting on the bars and the elbows slightly bent. Shoulders away from the ears. Let's come back up to 90 RPM or so. And now let's add in resistance. It feels like we've moved into exercise mode. The muscles are now challenged a little bit. Nothing too strenuous, but I want this to be enough that we start to feel the different muscle groups as they engage in different parts of the circle. You might want to pay attention to the scraping of mud through the bottom part of the pedal stroke. This is the one that we don't think about very often, and so it becomes important for us to tune into that. If we're in exercise mode at this moment, our heart rate is starting to pick up. There's slight discomfort in the muscles of the legs. Breathing is accelerating. I spent half an hour, 40 minutes yesterday watching videos of the performances at the World's Track and Field Championships, and I found a most interesting video of a sprint coach breaking down why or how Abby Steiner can be so fast. Fascinating. There's beauty in that. There's beauty in form and technique. And she has both. It's really marvelous to see slow motion analysis of her foot plant and her leg drive, her upper body position. What's your heart rate doing now? You can hear my breathing picking up. This is beautiful. Just holding a nice steady state effort. Let's check in really quick. You can sit up if you like. Keep the effort going. This is always a good practice to really tune into the decoupling of the upper body and the lower body. We're still working. Think about what your breath is doing now. Mine's absolutely picking up. I'm starting to sweat. But my legs don't scream in pain right now. It's just a moderate, steady effort. Let's come back to our handlebars. And now we're going to increase the workload. Not by adding resistance, but by turning the given resistance faster. There are only two ways we can increase work in cycling, and that is through gear or increasing the pedal speed. The power we output is a function of those two things. When I give you the signal, let's take our leg speed upward to 100 RPM and let's stay there for a little bit. And as we do it, let's try to quantify the increase in work that we're experiencing. So take a baseline right now. In 3, 2, 1. Come up to 100 RPM now. What is your level of work now compared to before? Did you add 20%? Did you add 30%? This is definitely much harder for me. Easily detected. We can notice the breath picking up from this. If we have a heart rate monitor on, we'll see an increase in the heart rate. If you're having a really, really hard time holding this pedal speed, take a little resistance out. In 3, 2, 1, come back to 90 RPM. It's hot. So we're back to exactly where we were before we accelerated the legs. We didn't touch the resistance. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. Bring your resistance down. Pedal slowly, just like we were at the start. I'm putting a number on my breathing now on a scale of 1 to 10. My breathing, 5 or 6. Allow your body now to just align itself naturally with the rhythm of the music. As always, try not to think about it. Just let it happen. The less we think, the easier it is. Got your rhythm? Come on back to your handlebars. Let's together check in with our shoulders. Move our attention down the arms to the elbows. See how relaxed they are. Let them bend slightly, hands resting on the handlebars. Wiggle your fingers, perhaps. All right, very short but intense effort on this rhythm. Add resistance that you couldn't hold for 5 minutes. Get your resistance in and then just assess. How does 5 minutes sound to you right now? If it sounds like, wow, I don't know if I could do that, I don't think so. Perfect. That's how I feel. Working to just stay relaxed in the upper body. I'm working to feel the hips driving over the top. Back to light resistance into the mid-80s. Go ahead and drink some water now. Feel free to sit up and practice that decoupling of the upper and lower bodies. Set your leg down on that little cymbal hi-hat strike. Still have light resistance in now, just aligning to the music. That last effort we were trying to get it to the point where we couldn't hold it 5 minutes. This time we're going to get it to a level that we couldn't hold 2 minutes. And then we'll stay there about 30 seconds and see how we feel, okay? Let's get into position. Relax the upper body, stitch together your circles in 3 and 2 and 1. Add in resistance, couldn't hold 2 minutes. This is big power output now. Bring it back to light resistance, but hold your rhythm. That really got my heart rate up. And I can feel it in the muscles of my legs right now. Kind of swollen, heavy feeling. Let's do one more. In 3, 2, 1. I know this is going to be a challenge. Just 30 seconds. All right, dial your resistance way down. There is no way I could have held that for 2 minutes. No way. You can hear me. So let's allow our breath to cool. To slow a little bit. Just a little bit. Keep the legs moving. Keep the resistance light. Let's feel that transformation in the muscles as they recover from that hard work there. Notice what's happening to your breathing. Should be slowing down. If you feel like it, you're welcome to just stand up and take a little weight off your sit bones and stretch your calves a little bit, since we haven't stood up yet. You might be getting a little uncomfortable, that's okay. Get the rhythm now with light resistance. And let's enter a hill now. We'll start off in the seated position, but only for 15 or 20 seconds, and we'll immediately go into the standing position by adding extra heavy resistance and bringing our body weight into it. Are you ready? Set your intention. Get your body in good position. Maybe put your hands into the middle of the bars like me. All right, let's go into the hill. I noticed that my leg's still a little heavy from that last effort. So be it. You can really focus on driving with the hips here. All right, let's get ready to stand. In 3, in 2, and 1. Add that resistance. Now come back to seated climbing. You can make the resistance less than before. That's okay. In 3, 2, 1. Come on back to the extra light resistance. Pedal slowly, drink some water. With almost all the effort off right now. And just turning the legs very slowly. I'm paying attention to my breath. It was quite rapid right after that. And now it's much slower. If I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, it would be 2. And that doesn't mean yours has to be 2, but we definitely want to see it slowing because we've taken all the work out. And when you're ready, after you've had a little water, we'll return to the handlebars and check in with our position. Little body scan. I'm going to close my eyes as we do this, and I'm going to start at my neck. Just releasing any tension in the neck as I move down to the shoulders. Arms into the elbows. And into the hands. Just pay attention to the belly and make sure that it's relaxed. Ooh, my arms. You probably can't see it in the camera, but my arms are all shiny. Sweaty. Sweaty. Feels good though. Okay. When you're ready, add in levels for exercise again, and let's bring our leg speed up into the mid-80s. You might feel it in your legs right now, that's okay. Remind ourselves again that we're scraping mud off the ball of the foot through the bottom part of the pedal stroke, engaging the calves and the hamstrings. You can actually feel the hamstrings engage at the very bottom of the pedal stroke. I think that's a useful thing, to feel your muscles engaging and start to map that into the pedal stroke. Try it on your quads. You'll feel it between like 3 and 4 o'clock, 2 and 4 o'clock on a clock face. All right, we're back into working levels. We're exercising again. Well, it's all exercise. We're into moderate challenge level again. I can feel my heartbeat ever so slightly increasing now. Let's do something we haven't done in a while. Let's do out of the saddle accelerations on hard gear. So we're going to add heavy resistance, not as heavy as when we're climbing up a steep hill, but heavy. And we're going to hold about 80 to 85 RPM for very short bursts. And those short bursts will get our heart rate up very high. So, I mean, 7 to 10 seconds. Short bursts. And let's work on balancing between hand weight on the handlebars, power into the pedals, and see if we can get that nice, smooth equilibrium. Let's do 2 and see how we feel. Maybe 3, I don't know. Okay, it might help you to envision being out on a bike and shifting to 2 or 3 harder gears and then standing up. Maybe envisioning that will help you get the body position you want. Let me count us down into this, starting with 4. In 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. All right, add it in, accelerating out of the saddle. Come back to light resistance, 80-something RPM. Gather your breath. Those are hard. My hands are so sweaty that they're now sliding on the handlebars, so I have to go with a new hand position where I lock my fingers around the horns here. All right, you ready for a second one? In 3, 2, 1. Add the resistance out of the saddle, 85 RPM. Come back down to light resistance. One more. Let's do one more. In 3, 2, and 1. Our last one. Rise up into it. Feel your body weight working for you. Breathe deeply. All right, come back to light. Hi. Resistance. You can hear my breathing. It's 8, maybe 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. Make sure you drink your water now. Attention to your breath, slowing as we come into active recovery again after some hard work. One more hard effort for the day. Just a single sprint. And let's really internalize what a sprint feels like. It feels like we could not hold it for 50 seconds or so, 45 to 50 seconds. I highly recommend you go online and watch some videos of people doing the 400 meters and really pay attention to their form in the first 100 meters, the second, the third, and then the fourth. Usually there'll be a radical difference in their form, because they're at the very limits of human physiology, no matter how many years of training they've had. The legs get heavy, the form starts to go, struggle starts to become the main view. The person looks like they're struggling. That's a sprint. Okay, you ready? Just a 10 or 15 second sprint here. Over 100 RPM. With resistance you couldn't hold 45, 50 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Bring your leg speed up. Keep that upper body calm. Create that beautiful smooth power. Don't forget to breathe while we're doing this. Okay, bring it all the way back down to light. Whew. We're gonna cool down now. Goal now is to just move our legs very slowly and allow our heart rate and breathing to slow way down. We can pay attention to how the muscles feel in the legs. They will change. I was telling my nephew the other day, talking about Abby Steiner and Sydney McLaughlin and track and field. I told them I'd rather do 6 200-meter sprints than 3 400-meter sprints. Same distance, whole different feeling. 200 meters, the body's still feeling pretty good at the end of that. Not 400 meters. That's why it's so hard. It's the hardest race, I think. 400 meter hurdles, no, that's the hardest race. Jump over something as you're sprinting 400 meters. Alright, what's your breath doing right now? How do your legs feel? I can still feel it in my muscles, quads mostly. Take out more resistance, slow your legs even more, and let's just come to a stop. Take a couple of beautiful deep breaths. Congratulate yourself. Notice how good you feel right now. Let's swing a leg over the bike. Stand next to the bike, pulling back on one of the ankles to stretch the quadriceps. Hold on to the bike. Today you might be a little dizzy with the heat. I always hold on to the bike no matter what, just out of precaution. I get sometimes dizzy. I speak like a German now. I get sometimes dizzy. Let's pull back on the other leg. And now for our hamstring stretch. I'm going to do it from the other side of the bike today. Hamstring stretch, set an ankle on the handlebars or the saddle or the top bar of the bike. And now let's go to the other leg. Whew. Nice ride. I feel good. Hope you feel good. I'll leave the music going, stretch a little bit, drink your water, come back to center. See you next time.